Hey, it's Migraine Awareness Month, and I want to spend these next 3 episodes going somewhere that most people never go. Not your triggers, not your medication, not another list of things to avoid, but I want to talk about your brain. Specifically, one tiny part of your brain that may be running the entire show and that nobody in a neurology office has ever explained to you. And it's called the amygdala. And if you've been doing everything right and you're still getting migraines, you need to hear this. So I want to start with something personal because I think it's going to sound really familiar. There was a period in my life when I was doing everything I was supposed to be doing. I was watching what I ate, I was managing my stress as best as I could. I was sleeping, I was exercising, I was tracking my triggers in a notebook like a good patient. And I was still waking up every freaking morning with a migraine. I was canceling plans. I was still sitting in a dark room wondering what I did wrong this time. And the most exhausting part wasn't even the pain. I normalized that, right? Don't we just normalize the pain? We get so used to it. We're like, yeah, this is a Tuesday for me. But the most exhausting part was the mental math, the constant running through the list. Was it the weather? Was it something I ate? Did I sleep wrong? Did I not drink enough water? What nobody told me, what took me years to figure out, was that I was asking the wrong questions. Because the problem wasn't the list. The problem was deeper than that. It was in my nervous system itself. And until I understood that, nothing I did on the surface was ever going to be enough. And that's what today is about. Your amygdala, it is a small almond-shaped structure that's buried deep in your brain. You actually have two of them, one on each side. And their job, evolutionary speaking, was super simple. Keep you alive. When your ancestors heard, rustling in the grass or something running at them, the amygdala fired. It didn't wait for a committee meeting to figure out what was going on. It triggered a full body threat response in a fraction of a second. Heart rate up, muscles primed, pain threshold lowered, everything on high alert. That's the amygdala doing exactly what it was designed to do. And here's what I want you to hear before we go any further. This is not a flaw. It's one of the most sophisticated survival tools that a human body has ever developed. But here's where it gets complicated for women like us. The amygdala doesn't just process fear. It is wired directly into the trigeminal nerve, that main pain highway involved in migraines. It communicates constantly with your HPA axis, which controls your stress hormone. And it has a significant relationship with estrogen, which is why so many women notice their migraines shift dramatically as they move through perimenopause. The amygdala doesn't just process fear. It is wired directly into the trigeminal nerve, that main pain highway involved in migraines. It communicates constantly with your HPA axis, which controls your stress hormones. And it has a significant relationship with estrogen, which is why so many women notice their migraines shift dramatically as they move through perimenopause. So when the amygdala stays in a state of chronic low-grade activation, which happens when your body has been dealing with inflammation, hormonal fluctuations, gut dysfunction, or years of unpredictable pain, it lowers your pain threshold across the board. Think about what that means. It means your nervous system becomes more sensitive, more reactive, more primed to interpret normal signals as a threat. Now, this isn't a weakness, this is biology, and it has a name: central sensitization. Your nervous system has essentially learned to expect pain, and it starts preparing for it before that pain even arrives. Now, if you want to learn a little bit more about the trigeminal nerve or about central sensitization, make sure you go take a look at past podcasts because we've covered this extensively. And if you can't find the links, let me know and we'll make sure we get those to you. But in the meantime, Here's what I want you to think about. Your amygdala is like a smoke detector. It was installed to save your life, and it does. But after years of chronic inflammation, hormonal shifts, pain signals firing over and over and over again, something happened to the detector and it starts to misfire. Not because it's broken, but because it's been triggered so many times that it has recalibrated itself to the lowest possible threshold. Now, instead of like a full blown fire, it's going off from steam from your shower, from the smell of toast, from a change in barometric pressure, from a Tuesday. And here's the part that stops my clients in their tracks. You cannot just unplug the detector. You need to recalibrate it. And that requires understanding why it started misfiring in the first place, which is exactly what we're uncovering in episode number 2 next week. Now, this is Migraine Awareness Month, and every year the conversation stays at the surface. Triggers, medications, awareness ribbons, and all that matters, right? But the real awareness means understanding what's actually happening in your brain and your body at a level that most women have never been given access to. And that's what we're doing this month, right here in these 3 episodes, because you deserve the full story. So next week, we're going to go deeper, and I'm going to show you why your smoke detector started misfiring in the first place, and why for so many women in perimenopause and menopause, it gets worse before anyone explains why. So if you're listening to this right now and you're going, yeah, this is me, I want you to do one thing before next week. Take my free quiz. It walks you through the exact patterns that tell me where your nervous system is breaking down and what category of drivers is behind it. The link's in the show notes. Come with your results next week, and we'll see you for episode number 2 on the amygdala. Here's to your migraine-free week, everybody.